It's DUG24. 24 hours, 24 sessions, 24 speakers, 100% Microsoft Dynamics. It's unparalleled, unprecedented, and undeniable fun with your hosts Beau and Bobby Small. Let's get into it with another episode of DUG24.
Awesome. Let's quickly get André and Laze up here. Guys, I know you're on. I know you're excited to get talking. Let's get you on and doing it.
Thank you. I'll try to share my screen.
Great. Yep, you're doing it.
That's perfect. And how are you doing, guys?
Doing great.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
How long?
I'm ready for another 24.
Beau
Bo wants to rewind it and do it again.
Okay.
I think we're ready. All we need is speakers. That's
correct. At least Laze should be in the call, but where is he now?
I am here.
Are you
Can
sharing
you hear
your
me,
screen?
see me?
Yes, I can see you now.
Yeah,
Perfect.
sorry.
Yes.
I'm on vacation and I'm on a lousy Wi-Fi, hotel spotty Wi-Fi. So I apologize. How many drinks you guys drink in this? Energy drinks have you had from yesterday? That is what I'm interested now.
I'm on maybe my third. It's not been too many.
Whoa.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm drinking my third. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think that is exponentially going as the time goes in the 24 hour. It will grow a little bit more. Very
we
good
will
work,
challenge
guys.
you. We will challenge you the coming hour as we made it as boring as possible for you.
Yes.
Let's get started. Maybe a quick introduction. We're here together with André and Laze. My name is André. I'm living and working in the Netherlands, just like Laze, also on vacation, but happy to help out with the presentation today. Solution architect working for a Dutch boutique consulting company called Next365. I love the community. You can find me a lot on the Dynamics community, answering questions, sometimes blogging, and even a few times a year creating a blog post and doing presentations around the world. And I always say, if you can dream about it, you can do it. So if you want to achieve something, just go for it.
Hey, and thank you, André. My name is Laze Janev. I'm a solution architect as well, work for my own company and have a couple of clients. And I'm also part of the community, not as much maybe as André, because he's a senior citizen in the community at this stage. But he created this community. But yeah, I'm trying my best. Part of the MVP program together with André and a lot of cool friends here. I see Adrian was behind me. Very interesting session. I have like 18 years experience, I think, at this stage in Dynamics. Create local user group organizer in our area in the Balkans. I'm now located in Skopje, Macedonia. And I'm in the second sentence here, you'll see that I'm really trying this ERP to make it sound like it's a very an AI platform. That is what we're trying also to present here with André today.
That's great. So we will talk about AI in F&O, but how did we come here? We will not just list everything on this slide, but since 75 years already, just some smart people are thinking of, can we just mimic the brain with a computer? And already in the early 50s, there was a test created by Alex Turing to see if a computer could let a real user think that he was communicating with a human. And over the past years, there were multiple changes. Even we had 2 AI winters where there weren't that much of innovation. But then since 2022, when ChatGPT got broadly launched, then also after that, Microsoft came with Copilot, and after that also all Dynamics products got changed, even the ERP solution.
Yeah. So what we wanted to discuss here is how all of these automation came through forward, right? So what is the history of the automation. I will not go, of course, through all of these details, but one very interesting part is, for example, for OCR, so optical character recognition. We all know it, right? And we have used it even in our ERPs, but also in daily works, even on our mobile phones. It's interesting that, for example, OCR was first discussed even in the 1910s or 1920s. Even first prototypes were done in 30s, 40s, and in 50s, the real commercial beginning started. In the late 50s and 60s, 70s, and when the business adopted it. So it took quite a lot of time for technology from its beginning in order to be adopted by the business and then by the end users. Compare that to now the generative and cognitive automation. I think that escalated quite easily, right? OpenAI is the fastest company that reached, I think, 1 billion users. It literally exploded in just a couple of months. So these technologies previously took them years and decades in order to reach us, but now the adoption is much faster. So that is something that we'll try to show you here, how that is impacting our daily life in our business applications.
Yes, and over the years, when just initially Damgaard introduced Axapta, version 1.0 was released in 1998. And actually, I still have an installation CD-ROM with version 1.0. But that one is almost 30 years old. Maybe I should try to install it again. But then over the years, things have been changed. Microsoft acquired Navision and Damgaard. They got a rebranding to Dynamics. Microsoft changed a bit of the UI several times and also turned just a client-server architecture into a real SaaS cloud solution. And then just since 2023, Microsoft added some AI capabilities, and which is now just fully embedded, and still Microsoft is enhancing and evolving the AI features like adding agents, interacting with a sidecar, an MCP server, but we will all talk about that one later as well.
And to continue, Andre's platform is, as he said, ERP is now a full AI platform. That is our lower layer, which is application business logic. Everything is still resides in our ERP. So your business logic is not. You cannot just go to ChatGPT or to Claude and generate all of these invoices and create packing slips and partial receivables and then create a warehouse. No, all of that business logic and functionality is still going to be here, located here in our lower layer. That is not going to move. As I'm part of a new company where we're creating an ISV, and we're trying to enhance it with the AI. The whole layering and what brings value for the customers is this functionality on the lower layer. Then that can be acted upon or received upon, interacted with our Dynamics 365 MCP or our headless business services, what is called. So we'll discuss about the MCP service, of course. Everybody knows at this stage about this. And we have all of these tools which are exposing and communicating with our AI ERP, right? So there are multiple tools which are available out of the box, and these are evolving so that our interaction with our business logic is more productive, is more seamless, and eventually even more cheaper. And headless business services, or the MCP, these tools can interact at first on with the first party interactions like the Microsoft Copilot Studio. What is also very interesting is what we can show is that these MCP servers, because it's an open platform, we can use it with other agent platforms. So you can register it in Visual Studio Code. You can register it in Claude directly, right? You can register it in CoWork, as we would like to raise. So we have this layer platform, and the UI is something that is on the top. In the middle, we have the interaction layer, which we can consider as a middleware, and it is interacting with our complex business application logic, which has a lot. So just to bring you some sense, like the application business logic or the AI ERP has like 1 billion lines of code now. It has 600,000 possible interactions that you can do with the system. So that's why we need something in the middle between the user and the port.
Are you still there, Laze?
Yeah, sorry.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
A little
It's
bit.
your slides as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I turned off my video. It looks my Wi-Fi is a little bit not stable. All right. So we have what happened in our ERP is that we're going from this legacy UI or the tile structure, which still most of the users interact on daily level, and it's something like back in the days when Microsoft created this Office structure or Office UI, where on the left side you have your menu, and then you have your tiles and your icons. Even Outlook was created like that, and most of it's like that. So we started to move from this UI level to the next slide, Andre, if you can switch, please, which is this new way of working, which is called Immersive Home. This UI is in a sense meant that you have your access based on your security laws, and you can still reach all of these forms, but your homepage will be the page which is generated by AI, meaning that you will have when you reach your the homepage of your ERP, you will be able to see by default only the activities that you will need to take some actions, meaning you need to do some approval, some agent interactions that have notified you, or you need to take some actions. You can see also your workspaces, of course, and those are dynamic pages, meaning that these styles or these activities will be dynamically changing in your homepage depending of what is there available for you, and not a fixed UI like previously.
Yep. I would say, well, let's have a look at the new Immersive Home, how that works in real life. I need to switch to an environment. First, I need to refresh this session. So what Lasse was mentioning, there was an old UI. And if you just enable a feature for the Immersive Home, you get a question, do you want to switch and try it out? If you do so, then you'll get an option to not only just look at some work items, but you can also enable out-of-the-box agents provided by Microsoft or maybe third-party vendors. And the big size with just the body with the details, it's not only about approval work items. This is called an agent feed, and Microsoft also introduced a feature to be able to add feeds yourself. It's not fully operational today by extending the cards and have additional buttons, but I did a hack in the system to be able to get a button, and I will show you a demo what we can do, for example, with an agent running in the background when we create contact details, that it would do some data validation. For example, if we go to a contact address, if we want to add an URL, for example, info@sparrow.com, and this is intended because this is not an URL but an email address. Let's save this one. And in the background, an agent is running. In this case, I created an agent flow where in case a record is added, modified, or deleted in the contact details, it will go into a flow, get some additional information, and it will run a prompt, which is based on AI. Is the provided email or website validated, and does it meet the standard regular expressions? And if you would do a test, then it will also test the sample data, and then it gives a reason, is it okay or not? In case you will provide a correct one and test it, then it will just return the word OK as per the prompt. And depending on the result, if it's OK, it will not do anything. Apart from if you made an error earlier, it will mark an agent feed as correct, but it will send it will call a service and send details about the error to the Immersive homepage. If we now just reload the page, hopefully it ran already in the background. You can also set some priorities to have data validation errors on top, or maybe less important than workflow items. But it's now here like a data validation error. This was an address, not an URL. This global address book button is a customization on the card. And at this moment, it's not extensible, but I did overlayer by relaxing the models. Hopefully Microsoft will make it possible soon to do the extension part. So if we click on the global address book, I already made that one with a link visible. It will then go to Sparrow Retail, where you can see the URL, and then if we click edit, we can just focus on the data and correct it like it should be www.sparrow.com. And then it will just again validate it, and based on the details it will mark the item as complete. Just another part of the Immersive Home. All workspaces and tiles you had before on the big body part are now at the right side, and it will just highlight the most recent use one at top, so you don't need to search for your workspaces. It will be just easier to find the back, as it will just list the most important one for you at the top. So let's go back to the presentation now. Bit of a summary what Microsoft added with Copilot features in the Dynamics 365F application. Microsoft added a sidecar chat bar. We will just talk about that one later also with a demo, but then you can just ask questions, and initially Microsoft added all learn articles about finance operations. So if you ask how to create a customer, it will go to Microsoft Learn and just tell you the steps, how to navigate and what details to enter. Also, some forms got embedded AI, like if you are opening a customer, vendor, or sales order, and some other forms. There is also a summary page where you can review, for example, what happened with a sales order and what actions to take. Microsoft also added first-party agents, like a supplier communication agent, where you can have an agent monitoring your emails for some changes in purchase orders. And it is also possible to use Microsoft 365 Copilot and just chat and create your custom agents with a Dataverse plugin, but also the MCP server. They can create your own agents. We will just switch to a screen from Laze now for a quick Copilot co-work initial demonstration, as it runs a bit longer usually. So we will just talk a bit of the architecture and prerequisites.
Andre's okay, Fisher?
Yes, please.
Turn off my camera. Right. Tell me when you can see the screen.
Yeah, we can see it.
Excellent. So
Yes.
I'm in my M365 Copilot, right? I switched to co-work. Excellent. So when you need to have your co-work, of course, enabled in your organization, you need to have access to co-work. And now with the new activities and chargeables that are from 1st of July. It's a little bit become difficult for some organization, but in order to use and to connect out of the box, honestly, with your D365 ERP, what you have to create is just to enable these plugins, right? So in my environment, I have enabled these Dynamics 365 ERP apps. And then in the configuration, you can select the environment to which you have access. So I have selected here one of my demo environments. So what we're trying to achieve here, right? What we try to do is that we're going to have. Let me just see if I have it pasted. But what we're trying to create is simulate is that. We had a call here. You see that I have already executed this, but we'll create a live demo. We'll tell to coworkers that, hey, I had a phone call with the Pelican wholesales. That is one of my customers. They are in need for 10 Microsoft Arc mice urgently. Can you draft a sales order in D365 and prepare an email to Pelican with the latest possible delivery dates? I want to review the email before sending. So I will just create that. What is also cool here is that you can dictate this, right? You don't have to type it out, so you can dictate and it understands quite good. Now, the thing about co-work is that it's usually meant for this asynchronous work. So it takes a while this action is done. It is not meant that you do something and then you monitor it live while it is executing. It can go in the background, resonate, and see here, for example, I have my clothes on at 5, for example, it's connected, which is a little bit pricey, but it can also resonate a little bit better. And here it is executing and telling us what kind of activity it's doing. It errored out, but it's executing data get entity metadata. It's doing its action in order to fulfill my request, right? So it can do many different things. Andre, should we maybe start and also can demonstrate the other co-work demo while we're here? While
yes,
this is executed? Yeah,
that's okay. Yeah.
So our other demo is that I want to show is this CV, right? So we have this CV. This is a made-up CV, guys, by the way. It's about this lady, Michelle Smith. And we have all her contact details here, right? And we have all of her experience, and this is her CV. We have an image. And what I tried here to execute, now I will not execute this live, honestly, because it really takes quite a while. But what I did execute it, and I will show you here in the history how it worked. So I said I attached this CV to the chat and said, we hired Michelle as an account manager. Please create a worker record with the personal details from the CV. Also extract the profile picture and link it as the employee image to the worker in Dynamics 365 Human Resources. Now, what you will see is that Michelle here and Michelle in the demo is a little bit different, it's spelled a little bit different. It will interact, it will identify, and it will get that the correct spelling of the name is the one actually from the CV, not the one that I typed, right? And it says here, I'm getting the details from the CV, and now let me look up the worker records. So it goes through this thoughtful and back and forward process. It says that the largest image is likely the profile photo. Let me verify. So it just tries to figure it out what is the correct spelling. Here is the point that says that Michelle Smith, and you mentioned Michelle with one L, but actually it's with double L. So it created it got the correct context, and it interacts with the system and tries to say what is the party ID that it needs to do. So it does these multiple activities, because in the background in the user, it's not only one action, right? You need to create a party, you need to create your contact details, and for the images, right? So it's still interacting with the system. That's why I said I will not demo it. Here at one point I say, hey, why did you actually stop? This doesn't look like you're finished. And it says, I haven't stopped. I'm still working on linking the photo. The image field size has a limit that rejects the larger version, so I'm down in the size accept. So it tries to reach us in Dynamics. Sometimes it can be the size or the format of the image. So it works according to that. It says, okay, now I am done, right? I have created this worker. This is the worker ID, all right? And the photo took a couple of times, and here are the details. So here is the Michelle Smith, here's the personal number, here's the email, that is the phone, that is the address, this is the nationality, and all of the details. Say, hey, in which legal entity I asked it, did you create it? Because it says I created in the USMF, right, in my Contoso demo data, but I went there, I was not able to find it in the form. So this is just a live demo, just to interact and tell you how it works in real life situation. I said, you're right, the record is in the table, but it's not shown in the form. So this was not me. So identify what was the problem, right? It says, oh, I created this record, but the worker status is terminated, and the worker type is both. So then it goes through this explanation. Why is that so? How did it happen? What is the solution in order to show me that to fix the issue? And I just said, do you? It asked me, do you want me to fix it? I said, just yes. And again, it goes and interacts with the system. It creates the proper. It creates the proper record. It activates it properly, and it's not terminated. And what is also interesting is that based on the CV, it found what is her previous position. It find that position in our Contoso metadata and hire her for that position. So let me show you how that now looks into the system. Okay, I hope I'm not able to log in again. I just had this open, so I don't know why it takes so much, but it will be here in a second. Oh, here now our other prompt, it's already making some progress to create a sales order for 10 Microsoft Arc mouses. And it says it requested me to give him access to execute data entity create. All right, so my FNO is open now. And if I go to my workers, and I can search, I don't even need to search. I can just find the latest one, right? Here is Michelle Smith. So in the Michelle Smith, now I can see all of her contact details. Here is her address from the CV, right? Here are her contact details, right? Email, this is the phone, this is the URL. So all of the details from the CVs are here. And she is hired as her current role. And I didn't mention this in the prompt, but the correct position is account manager, and also her photo from the CV is attached. So that completed as expected. Right. So right, it looks like this created a sales order. So let's try to see the second prompt. Right, so here is Pelican Wholesales. Here is my sales order. Let's see if the prompt actually finished and created the sales order line. Oh yeah, so we do have our item, it identify, and what we can see that my product name is Microsoft Arc Mouse. It doesn't say mice, like I exit here in the prompt, and I can show you that. See, Microsoft Arc Mice. It automatically resonates and finds what is the most logical step, right? So here is the quantity, EA stock. It selected the proper warehouse. So my sales order now has been created, but it needs to finish one more step, and that is to create the draft email. So I will go to my Outlook. Let's see if this is finished. That email looks suspicious. That I don't really know. All right, maybe it look at my previous email. So if I go my drafts, right? Okay, so here we can see that my draft email was created. Same. Thank you for calling us for the urgent needs from Microsoft Arc Mouse. I'm happy to confirm that we placed your order. That's the sales order number, quantity requested, and requested delivery date is that day, and based on our current stock. So it fulfilled its its action. Okay, Andre, back to you.
Yes, and well, while working with Copilot, people should be aware that it's running today with the Claude models, which is not really satisfying all kind of regulations for some European companies. But Microsoft is working on providing more models, so you can choose other models as well, which are running, for example, in the EU. And the cool thing about Cowork is that you also have the app on your mobile phone. So instead of typing here, maybe when you enter your car after just having a chat at a client, you can even dictate and just later open your laptop and see what's the result of your prompt. Let's continue.
Exactly. That continuity is there, but I just want to say one correction. The Cowork now works also for GPT models as well. So that is also a possibility. But there will be also a first-party model from Microsoft called, I think, Copilot 1, because the cloud model's pretty pricey. Okay. I think this is me, right, Andre? Yeah.
Yes,
all right.
That's correct.
So when Andre discussed previously, he was sharing that here is how possibilities of AI in our F&O ERP. This is one of the possibilities about the sidecar and how the sidecar can be extended. So there are different kind of possibilities, and this is the architecture. So meaning that F&O has this X++ code, is connected with Dataverse. Of course, it's always paired with Dataverse. And here is where the Copilot solution actually sits. So the Copilot is a D365 app, which is connected and can be extended upon with the Microsoft Copilot Studio. And all of the AI orchestration is done there. And then that's how we have these AI actions in F&O side. I think we have the links here of how the F&O Copilot works and how you can extend it. There is also a static code, low code, and X++ code, but we'll go through this in the next slides now.
Correct. So initially, when you have your Copilot sidecar, then by default it only knows a bit about Microsoft Learn, the basics, and you can extend it with more details. The first thing, you need to go to Copilot Studio, where you can open a Copilot for Finance and Operations apps agent, and you can add topics in that one, which will be an extension. For example, you can add public websites, like I did add my blog, for example, my blog page, then it will know a bit more than the standard default Microsoft Learn articles, but you can also consider adding your work instructions from a SharePoint site. So not only just ask like how create a worker, but then it will look up details on your SharePoint and maybe have some additional details like you need to enter this and these fields in this specific way. So it's just only chatting and you get a reply from the knowledge. And as example, before and after adding just my blog page, the same prompt, initially it has just the question, how can I move users and security from one environment to another? Initially it says, well, these are the steps you need to perform, and with a link, which was a link to a Learn article on Microsoft. And after I changed or just added the knowledge source, it says, well, there's also a specific blog page, which will just guide you in a specific way more in detail. So that one has the preference about it, over it. You can also add static text, and this is just a small thing, gimmick to just test out where can I get more information about security, and just with one text, and it will just always return the same text. Like you can find information on Microsoft Learn, but André created also the blog about security as well. Apart from just the knowledge and the static text, you can also add some low code. If you start with a topic, you can add a flow. And for example, what you can achieve is that the system would be aware of what details are on your F&O session. For example, if you go to a course, also the Copilot sidecar knows about which forum is open and what record is selected. Then you can also go for prompt, and I would like to translate the course description in a specific language, and you can orchestrate that also with just Copilot Studio. And in addition, this is also a scenario which is, or at least not sure if it's still there, but there was a scenario on Microsoft Learn how to get started with this demo. And what you can also do is just add some client plugins where you can interact with clients, maybe change a color theme or other actions. Confirming a sales order can be developed as well with just some interactions. And then from MCP, but also from the sidecar, you can interact with those client plugins that it will perform several tasks for you. We will go for a demo now. And the first demo is if you are going to just finance and operations, if you open a sidecar, initially the sidecar will be empty. There is a feature called zero prompt experience. If you enable that one, you can have a default card with, for example, some most common questions like how to do time entry, how to request time off. And then you can click on it and it will just prompting. In this case, it is something misconfigured in this environment. I had to switch to another environment as my second environment got broken. Unfortunately, it's not opening the sidecar. But if you just repeat the question, then it will just run again. And you can make that zero prompt experience also form specific, context aware. For example, if we now open the released products and open the sidecar again, then it will just have a default, just a different defaulting of the zero prompt experience. Like I would like to know the on-hand information on the products. But a bit of demonstrations what might be possible also to interact is like change the color theme, and this requires a customization. It is something, and if we would like to switch this, for example, to light blue, then directly the client will switch to light blue. So that's an interaction what you can do with some X++ logic. Another quick demo on the course translation. If we go to health and safety, for example, so I will not pick number 1, but this is another course. The course description is now in English, but suppose you are a Spanish person, you can type, please translate the course description. Oh, and of course, we need to provide the language. Let's do Spanish today. And in the backend, it will now also just follow the complete flow as orchestrated in the Copilot topics, which will also call an Power Automate flow for an AI translation part. And not sure if there are people with just knowledge of the Spanish language in the call, but in fact, it looks Spanish enough to me. But for the Copilot sidecar, the message is loud and clear. The basic is just a Learn article, and you can also go to Microsoft Learn, but if you extend it, you can really achieve amazing things. Let's talk a bit about the agents available provided by Microsoft. We will not go to an in-depth demo today, but there are several agents, for example, an onboarding agent and supplier communication agents and account reconciliation agents. And in fact, the reconciliation agent got stopped for a while, just a few months back. But if it's okay, it's back online, and Microsoft made some improvements to have just a less number of calls and make it cheaper to use the reconciliation agent. And just the call to action would be just if you see some use cases, try them out and just maybe also share your experiences on the internet or with Microsoft. And slide next one back to Laze, because Microsoft is doing more.
Yes. So apart from those agents that were shown just now by André, here you can see a whole broad of agent that is exploding and which are connected on top of our ERP, right? This can be also tied together with, especially with ISVs who are providing also their own agents. We can see time agents, expense agents, which are already released. Supplier communication agent is something that is very useful. I have enabled for a customer, even in production. The sales order agent, for example, is coming from different kind of actors. So something is directly bolted into the product itself. So you need to update your version. But some of these agents are actually created, for example, by the Fast Track team. So they're freely available that you can edit on your own. So they're open weight. They're open source. You can take them from GitHub, implement it, and modify it based on your own requirements. So across all of these business require like OTC, you have a lot of agents that are either produced or they're coming forward. But I think what also happened here is when the co-work came into the picture, and when you were able to create a specific scenario with your MCP, like the scenario that we just created a while back now, like create me a sales order for this and this for this customer and send me an email. There is no agent for that, right? Or we got a new hire. This is her CV. Just hire her, embody in the system. There is no agent specific for that. It might be even more specific for your company. But with the possibility of homework and how this dynamic orchestrations work, there's a possibility that you create your agent with just processing, with setting up multiple steps. Interesting part in co-work is that you can also create some kind of a report or say, what was the analysis? Get me, so you can connect it to your BPA agent and say, get me all of the data from here and just create me a small report or tell me what is the sales processing or the margin from yesterday. It will investigate. It will need more credits. It will consume a little bit more credits, but it will investigate, and you can schedule it to execute at a specific time of a day or day in the week. A fashion that it will automatically execute, so you can somehow user-driven create your own agent. So what is in the picture here, it's already either available or it will be soon available, but also we're not stopping here, right? It is evolving every single day. Okay, André, if you can go to the next slide.
Yes, we have about 10 minutes, so we need to hurry up.
Yes, thank you. Right. What we wanted to discuss a little bit, we talked so much about this MCP, but we have this slide a little bit later in our day, André, we need a little bit maybe to organize, is about the Dynamics ERP MCP. I think everybody is already bored about the MCPs. What MCP means, again, is Model Contact Protocol. It's invented, it's published there as open source protocol for communication between agents. It's created by Anthropic, but it was very quickly adopted by everyone else in the industry. It is the base form from the industry. There are now other formats. Maybe it will be adopted probably also in the Microsoft platforms. But for now, this is the way to go. So you have your MCP agents, which is I don't like to use that USB-C narrowing down, but it's just like an AI, let's say, sorry, it's like a plugin of how you can quickly interact we as a users, and also use agent to agent, how it can quickly interact. What these agents have in the Dynamics 365 ERP, they have tools. Most basic tools, they have form tools. What does it mean? It means that agent can interact or simulate user action into the form as the user have. So if you have purchasing manager role, it will be able to activate and go through your vendors and vendor orders and create the actions that you have. We have the data tools, something that came very recently, and it's much more preferred, to be honest. And you probably saw it in one of my demos, where it actually executing, instead of going and clicking all of these many buttons in the forms in order to execute one action or to do some calculation. It goes in the background, uses the entities to quickly either select the data, find the data, and execute some actions with the data, create a record, update a record, and even if needed, deleting a record. And we have also action tools which enable the agent to find directly some classes, to find directly the logic. It's technically which should be cheaper, and it should be faster using these tools. And there are probably also different tools coming very soon.
Yep, let's jump into a demo of what would be possible with the Copilot Studio MCP server. So I logged in now on Microsoft Copilot Studio. There is one Copilot for Finance Operations apps, which I just talked about for the sidecar extensibility. It is not Microsoft's intention to have the MCP server added into the Copilot for Finance and Operations apps, because some interactions takes a bit longer than usual, and then the user needs to wait for actions. Actually, it is possible to achieve it and have MCP in the sidecar, but it's not recommended, not intended, as Microsoft was saying. So I created a separate Dynamics 365 ERP MCP agent, and I'm running it now in Copilot Studio, where we can perform a test. And if we want to test the agent, we can add a prompt like, please create a new customer for Microsoft Croatia. Find the details, find the address details on the internet. Use Euro and customer group 20. This is now just starting up. It will just see I need to use the MCP server, which is the only tool available in this Copilot Studio, and you need to enable the agent also to search details on the internet, otherwise it can't find details. So it says, well, please create Croatia, and you see that it's already thinking, it found it, and it has an address, and with all of the information, it will continue creating the customer in finance and operations. And soon it will also find out that we did not provide anything for a customer account number. There's no number sequence set up, but also in this case, I used the Claude Sonnet model. That is really amazing in just thinking and resonating what should be added, and that will also find a solution for what to do with the manual number sequence for the customers. It takes a bit longer than expected.
Looks like you
Yes,
didn't
it says
pay your
now
agent
indeed
fee, Andre.
3.
You didn't pay your agent fee under this month.
Too bad. I'm a bit low with payments in time. But it says now indeed just the customer account field must be filled in, and it will check and finds a solution for that one automatically. And now it's opening a form, and I think it's a wrong form, but correct. So it will just try to open another one and move it. In addition, while this one is running, I would like to share another example I created. Where is that one? No, it's not. It's not open. No, I by accident closed a tab page with an history. Maybe already go to finance operations and check if the customer is there. Not yet. So what it did do now is it created a customer account with HR001. HR is just abbreviation for Croatia, and it did that because it saw that all other account numbers already available had that same pattern. For each of the country, we start with the country code and then a number. Let's try to refresh the page. Oh, and I see I have the wrong one. It's in a different environment. So Microsoft is added here with the address details as found on the internet, and also it found a phone number which was added, and we can also ask follow-up questions to add more details here. It also had directly a link to open all customers. So if we click on that one, this is also a new feature which is currently in preview, where the system will add deep links. So it created a customer and you can directly go to it. But you can also ask, for example, what customers do have wool sales in the name. It will then just try to find all of the customers. It will just flash here around, but at the end it will also create a deep link, and if you click on that link, it will open a kind of data entity page with all of the details and a filter on all of the found customers. And here's the link. Open the customers, and it will open finance operations with a focus on the accounts having full sales. I think we are now just 4 minutes before the clock. Are we allowed to show something about analytics by Laze?
Yeah, go for it.
Yep. Okay, Laze.
It's stopped working honestly because of my web. So if we can wrap it up, but technically, what you have.
Can you act it out, Laze? Can you could maybe just like charades.
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course. I wanted to. I'm sorry, but what did Soundless if you have BPA, which is Business Process Analytics, which is refreshing these report out of the box reports about it is pulling from Dynamics. BPA is application technically on Dataverse, on the Power Platform. There is an MCP agent on its own. It takes also quite a while, a little bit to generate, but you can what it can query the data. It is in a more structured format, so it's in a data model instead of this, loosely based normalized data view. So it's in a data model, so it will return you back data in a better format. For example, how is your month to date, for example, your sales order or your invoices, or what are your best vendors. So we can generate these reports, real life reports, using let's say Visual Studio Code connected to this analytical. So it will generate HTML reports. It can also generate a full end-to-end executive plane PowerPoint. It can generate PowerPoint presentation based on that data, and how what are the next steps, and what are the next actions based on the data. For example, what are the most risky vendors that we have in our system? What should we do about it? Can we find something else? So it will structure this data and present it in a nice way. I'm very sorry that I cannot present it in this moment. It won't. 4 minutes are never enough, honestly, for that demo anyway. But the next time. Thank you, Bobby.
You bet. Thank you, guys. That was great. Any questions for André and Laze? Checking the chat.
Anyway,
There's a lot of good chatter going on, a lot of questions answered in chat, so I don't see anything else outstanding at the moment.
Okay, I don't see. If there are some questions in the chat, we can hang out, right? And try to answer them in the chat.
Yeah. Andre, you kind of broke the news for me for the reconciliation agent coming back. Is it fair to say that we're going to see an Andre blog on the updates for that agent, or
Well,
I guess
actually,
how does the audience find more information about it?
Actually, I was just informed by Microsoft that it was taken out and that it would come back at a certain point in time. That date already have passed, but I did not got time myself yet to try out if it's really there, but it should be available again.
It's not that, because yesterday I was contacted by Microsoft if I would like to test, like in a private preview, to go a little bit about it, to test it out. So next week I will have probably a possibility to interact with it. But it should get me back. Okay.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate you guys. We are looking at 2 a.m. for me, 3 a.m. for Beau. We are 4 hours away from completing the circuit here, which is awesome.
I think with the co-work, we saw our also LinkedIn feed exploded with people just messing around and creating crazy around schemes, either agents or work tasks on daily level that they will try to achieve. But after the co-work cost really hit in, or they started to be chargeable from 1st of July, maybe that got lower down. I think there is still value there, especially after Microsoft is going to move a little bit, maybe with using their own what they call that Copilot 1 model, right? Which would be, they say, significantly cheaper than what do we have now available for everyone else. Probably the adoption should be better. I think there is still quite a lot of value, but there is also skepticism and organizations really trying to guide that cost, because if you leave it up open for everyone, it just literally explodes in a single day.
Yeah. And actually, when you want to start working with AI, just at least for an organization, if they just think of like, hey, we need to do something with AI, don't just give everyone Microsoft 365 Copilot. Just find a group of people and also just find or a valid use case and just start working on it and then show that AI can help in an organization, and everything you add just also it's just as Lasse mentions, it can be costly as it's a consumption model. So also ensure you do a proper business case, including an expected cost to ensure that it should save time using AI, and that time should be worth spending on the credits.
Indeed, I can show a real life example that using supplier communication agent for the customer, it really, although it spent some credits, it removed the need for them to hire an extra person, right, for their vendor.